Good morning and goodbye. We'll look back. Well, what can I say? We'll look back at an amazing year. It's too late today.
Coming up today, thanks for the memory. Get up close and personal with Jay. You've never before. Check out the Life Times of Florence, America's favorite mom. From NBC News, this is Later Today with Jody Applegate, Asha Blake, and Florence Henderson. Live from Rockefeller Center.
Be Nielsen families is
That's
what I
right.
know.
Where have you people been?
No, actually, our ratings were not bad, and I have proof of the fact that a lot of people really liked this show. This is just a tiny fraction of all the email we've gotten this week, and it's not the same one printed out 10,000 times, I swear.
You sure? Let's check. No, it's not.
Normally at this time, we have a hot topic of the day, but based on this, I hereby declare us the hot topic of the day. Pace yourselves. We're going to be fishing for lots of applause in the next 59 minutes, so, don't spend it all here.
These are so nice.
They really are nice. So many people have sent nice emails and letters.
Oh,
you know,
look, I just happened to find this one. This morning, I heard Florence Henderson announce that August 11th is the last show for NBC Later Today. Why is it going off the air? I think this is a wonderful morning show and one that shouldn't be taken off the air. The girls work so well as anchors and complement one another. Thank you, Kim Hicks.
Thank you very much, Kim Hicks. Well, you know what? There's a real quick little one that I want to read from a 12-year-old girl who writes. Her name is Deirdre Matheson, and she says, "Please don't leave. I really like your show. I think you're all very funny, even though I don't understand all of it. That's okay. Neither do we.
All right. It's okay.
Please don't cancel the show. Thank you." Well, Deirdre, thank you, and I wish you'd included your home address, because, I mean, we could come to your house Monday morning and do it in your kitchen. We don't need a network.
That's right. Thank you, Deirdre. That's a nice letter. And thanks to everybody. And we're going to get into that later on. And so we don't cry this early in the show and ruin our eye makeup.
Yeah, exactly. We also want to thank the live studio audience that comes here every day. That's something that was different about our show, especially for a news production to have a live studio audience. It hasn't been these people every day. They have lives. But anyway, and we've staffed it with all our friends and family today, so they'll laugh at anything. But anyway, we're happy the folks who are here today, but in general, we've loved having a live audience. And nobody likes a whiner, so we are going to try and make today a bit of an Irish wake, aren't we?
We're just going to have
That's
fun.
one way to put it. We're going to have lots of fun.
Entertain our audience, as we've always tried to do.
And have a little fun at our own expense.
Right.
We're going to take a short break right now, but when we come back, we're going to look back at some of our favorite Later Today moments. That's coming up in 60 seconds. Stay tuned. Back to this final edition of Later Today. We had the privilege of doing this show for only a short time. It was long enough to cover some important issues, to meet some amazing people, and to have a really good time. Good morning. Since 1999, and America's first TV family is growing this morning with the birth of a brand new show. It's like Today, Later.
Two dozen for each of you. No, I didn't get anything on my first day, but that's okay.
Well, you've been making a lot of noise. We're right upstairs. I wanted you to keep it down. The house going Take a broom handle and pound on the floor. Former Beatle George Harrison was attacked. 100 roads have been shut down because of this flooding. Elian Gonzalez was removed from the home of his Miami relatives and reunited with his father.
In fact, research shows the very best sex occurs in the 6th, 7th, and 8th decade of life.
What?
Hold on a second. We don't have water for the recipe. So we need the pasta.
And I thought, what did they go through with the auditions for this?
Just a couple of words about Elvis.
Are we developing a theme here?
Hi, it's Mommy.
About,
Look into my eye.
I can't focus today.
Take a deep breath. And tell me about the clips.
This is Brady. Or was it Judy? Jody? Or Judy?
Well,
oh, Jody.
Yeah, this was
So I think maybe Jody.
Cindy Brady.
Now you girls behave.
We're going to get into the you and Greg thing, right?
Are we?
Do we have time? It's only an hour show. Let's go to our taste tester, Scott and Ashley. Would you like to try that? There's your tuna on a little biscuit right there. Doesn't that look lovely? Doesn't that look great? Come on, I know you like tuna.
Oh.
Stick it in the freezer for about 15 minutes. Why? And that's going to firm up the fat in the pastry.
That's what we like here. Firm up that fat, everybody. Hey!
I want when people look at my paintings, I want them to see how the world's beautiful.
Well, I think he feels that there's a clock ticking. Why he moves so fast, why he wants to do everything so quickly and take life to the very, very edge.
The most important marathon Danilyn's already run, and that is that she was in the hospital literally on death's door and now has recovered. And I think running the Boston Marathon is just putting an exclamation point on an incredible story.
Here we go. Anything I say after this I'm not responsible for, okay, NBC in America? And with all the changes over the years on the Lower East Side,
what's going on around here?
Remained
I
and
ordered
even
my food an hour ago. What am I, a stepchild?
has
You know, I want your opinion about these clothes. Alice, what do you think about this?
I like this better than the pajamas because it's freer and you can use it day and night.
That's not what I ordered, but I'll eat it anyway.
It's called Boy Under Glass, right? That's the name of your whole costume?
I don't know.
Hey, keep your hands out of there, you party girl. Shake it, David.
Okay. You're a woman.
I'm a lad. I'm a slightly effeminate lad.
It is the dorkiest, stupidest idea I've seen in a long time. Ooh, we
Heads
dropped the
are
head.
gonna roll.
Heads are rolling.
Countdown to our last show on August 11th.
Do you have a later today show? Go with it, people.
They really, obviously, had a real connection there.
Why kill a Knish?
Oh, you know what? Happy words, why kill a Knish?
That kind of sums up how I feel about this whole experience. I like this Knish, and it was only going to get better. But that was when we went to the Lower East Side, and we did a story about the bakery there, and a Knish is like a little potato dumplingy thing. But anyway, it's sort of become a catchphrase around here, because the ladies, why kill a Knish? So I'm going to put that on a bumper sticker someday.
Right. That was fun. That was fun to watch that and to look back at
Sure
all
was.
those moments.
We did a lot.
We did. I'm exhausted. It's just as well we're going home, you know? I need some sleep. Anyway, obviously it's been a very fun show to do, and we've got a lot more coming your way right after this. Stay tuned.
Up next, Florence looks back at her career, way before she was Mrs. Brady, when Later Today continues.
Back to Later Today. It has been 40 years since our Florence joined Dave Garroway and the NBC family as a Today girl. Now, according to a 1959 press release, letters from viewers indicated that Florence was as popular a choice with them as she was with the Today family. Check out Florence's legs right there. A petite blonde, she has the wholesome appeal of the girl next door and an extra measure of warmth and friendliness. And she still does today. Ladies and gentlemen, our very own Florence Henderson. Florence, don't start crying yet.
No, I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to.
There's so much to talk about with you. We're going to go back, though, first to that Today Show press release from 1959, where I'm going to quote again. It said, "You are going to face a mad and merry whirl where you might end up sparring with a kangaroo, then return to the desk looking unruffled to comment on the latest fashions." Jody, not much has changed, has it, since 1959?
Well, the women on the Today Show get to do a wider variety of things than in the old days, I suppose.
You know, what's interesting about all of this is, yes, I did some wilder things than I've ever done on this show, actually. But when I think that I got to work with such heavyweights in those days as Dave Garroway and Jack Parr and Johnny Carson and all these great people.
J. Fred Muggs.
Yeah, and that today, I'm still working with the heavyweights, you know, Katie Couric and Matt Lauer and Jody and Asha. You know, it's such a privilege. I just feel so privileged.
You know, let's talk about this show just a little bit. Now, you had a lot of great fun moments. I know because we saw that clip reel just now. But I think one of the most favorite for Florence was when it was a surprise to you.
Totally.
You brought in one of your best friends. Her name was Jewel Ann Griffin. And it was a segment on being reunited with a long-lost friend.
Right.
And there we're looking at some of the video. And you didn't know that Jewel Ann was going to be coming in.
No.
Talk about that.
I had absolutely no idea. Julianne Griffin is just the most unique woman, and I love her so much, but she lives in Virginia. I live in California, and because I've been working so hard, I hadn't had a chance to see her. And I mean, that was another great privilege of this show, to be able to see Julianne and spend the day with her after that. And oh gosh, and now since then, we're talking all the time, and it's just great. It's great.
You've also gotten the opportunity to be the fitness diva on this show.
Yes, indeed.
Putting me to shame. Have you enjoyed that?
Well, actually, see,
Look at that. That was classic. Taking out your aggressions there.
I love working out. I love feeling good. I just have found that over the years, and also the fact that I'm fearless and I'm not afraid to make a total fool out of myself.
Plus, you've got a killer bod.
Yes.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you like to see all of it right now?
Yeah, I think that's one way to end the show. Yeah, absolutely, Florence. Absolutely.
No, I just enjoyed doing it. I was a dancer. In Broadway shows and on television. And I've just found that it makes you feel a heck of a lot better. Try to keep it in shape. Try, keep fighting gravity, girls.
Well, that's good advice. It has certainly worked for you, Florence.
I know one person she'd love to show her body to, outside of your husband. Look at that face. Look at that surprise on Florence's face. Tom Cruise!
Well,
and here he is. No, in a photograph.
We couldn't get Tom Cruise for you today. Florence, if you watch the show, you know she talks about Tom Cruise all the time. What's up with that, Florence?
Well, Tom Cruise is one of my favorite actors. He always has been. I think because he is so handsome and all of that, that's going for him. People don't realize what a great actor he is. People that you would ever want to meet. I just think he's, I would think about Sean in my bod. Yes, indeed.
All right. Are you and Rosie going to ever really mud wrestle over him? Because I know you share a lust and love
She
for
was
Tom.
a little jealous when I told her about my meeting with him and everything. But, Rosie and I share a lot of the same interests. We adore Tom Cruise. We love theater. We love to sing together. Yeah.
There you are.
And she writes these hokey lyrics. And again, she's a heavyweight, and I don't mean that in terms of weight.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a great rapport.
Yeah, you really do. Now, let's listen.
I know Ro goes. Exactly. Wherever Ro goes, I know Flo goes. No fix, no fight, no fuse, and no we go. Oh, egos, amigos, together.
Now, that was Rosie.
That looks like a lot of fun. But I know something else that was a lot of fun for you. You didn't think we were going to let you get away without mentioning the Brady Bunch.
Oh, the Brady
Bunch.
Florence, the Brady Bunch.
You know that old show?
Oh, that show. I think I might have seen that once before.
When the show started, I think it was back in 1959. Did you ever? 69. 69. You look so young. You look so young, Florence. 1909.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you would become such a recognizable face in America? Did you ever think that
around the world, really?
Yeah. No, I never did. You just do the work. You always try to do the work, do the best you can. And again, it's another blessing and a privilege. And Robert Reed there. We had a great cast, and it was fabulous.
We want to end this segment, not with that shot, but with something that really describes you, because you're an upbeat person, as everybody knows from the Brady Bunch, and actually in life, too.
Well, yeah, Asha, I don't want to sound like Pollyanna all the time, and I know Jody's like, oh, well, you're so positive, blah, blah, blah. But I've faced a lot of tough challenges in my life, but I've really found that, staying positive is really the best way. So.
And one way to do that is we have a wonderful clip we can show of you singing a beautiful song called Silver Lining. Let's go to that now.
Thank you.
Florence, you are a surrogate mom to the world, really, certainly to America, to all the people who've worked with you, and I certainly hope we can stay in touch.
Jody, I'd like to be your mom and just give you all the love and all the attention that you missed.
Sure, can you like adopt me legally? I'll take that.
But you have to do what I say.
It's a deal from me.
Okay. Anyway, Florence, we're going to talk
I love
more.
you, Asha.
Love you too. We're going to talk more on the show. We'll be right back with much more on this final edition of Later Today, right after this.
And it's going to be a tough interview. Think I'll get any dirt out of you?
Nope. Except I did not sing on the Today Show back in 1950.
Will you get the years right? Are you trying to destroy me?
Right back after this.
Up next, Asha Blake is always fishing for a good story. But that's not all. Find out more about Asha when Later Today continues.
Our next guest has been an integral part of Later Today for exactly 11 months, 4 days, 25 minutes, and 19 seconds. And in that time, we've learned that she can do a hard-hitting interview or sweet-talk the toughest celebrity into a smile. However, there are some things about Asha Blake that folks at home don't know, but are about to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest, Ms. Asha Blake.
It's weird you sit here.
Yeah, she has more relatives here than I do.
It's like, this is your life. You're in the hot seat.
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of surreal. But anyway, I know that you and your husband Mark and your daughter Sasha moved across country from Los Angeles for this show. And the last year has been one of great change for you, I imagine.
Great change. It really has, Jody and Florence. And I want to take a moment, and I know we'll talk about this later in the show, to say how happy I am to have had a chance to work with the two of you and get to know the two of you so much. And also the staff, as you all know, are wonderful here. All the producers are wonderful, and the floor crew they're some of the best people I've ever worked with.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Right, absolutely outstanding, and that's been one of the best parts for me. In addition to meeting some of the great people and doing the interviews, and the celebrities, of course, have been fun, and the cooking segments that I screwed up so much. Well, those were a lot of fun.
Well, you know, we have done so many exciting things on this show, but what was one of your favorite moments?
That's really easy. One of my favorite moments, and I'm thankful that our executive producer, Michael Bass, gave us 15 minutes to do a story on a woman that had just an incredible thing happen to her. Her name was Mary Vincent. We did the story a few months ago, and there she is. I heard about the story when I was in high school. It happened 20 years ago, and she was picked up as a hitchhiker and brutally attacked and raped, and he cut her arms off. I know this is kind of a downer on today's show, but the story is interesting because after 20 years of absolute hell, what she went through in her life, she turned it around. And what I liked about the story and why I'm here, why I chose to come and do this show, was to do stories like this of inspiration to women. And that's my main goal in all the work I do, is to try and change women's lives for the better and children's lives for the better. And I've been a reporter for 16 years, news anchor. And that's
you started in 1930, didn't you?
I started in 1920.
Yeah, she was doing it then.
She was on radio.
Yeah,
I started radio. She invented the telegraph.
And it's Mrs. Al Gore.
That's right. That's right. And so the reason I love that story is because she took what was such a horrible situation. She became an artist, and she gave me that picture, I think, Jody, you have next to you. And she did it herself with what was left of her arms and her hook arms. And you guys sent her that press photo, and she came and brought that.
Very nice.
That's why I like that story.
That's very inspirational. And I think it's a testament to your wide range, the fact that you can do the very serious, important things. And you're also willing to be, shall we say, a little silly. Apparently, I've never seen this tape, but we were told when you first arrived that this is the chick that danced on Peter Jennings' desk when she was over there at NBC.
I want to see this.
I have not seen this tape in 3 years. You know, I'm going to just be horrified.
No, you won't.
This is Peter Jennings' news desk. I was anchoring an overnight show at 8. Oh, my God, they're showing my butt. You know, I was interviewing a rock band working at the ABC overnight program. And, you know, we just kind of started singing, and the rock group, or guy anyway, pulled me up on the desk, and we started dancing. I want to make it clear that Peter Jennings was not there while we were dancing on his desk.
Did he see, like, the shoe marks the next morning?
I'm sure they cleaned it very well for Peter.
Asha is a great dancer. You didn't really see all of her great talent there, but I want to move on to other things that inspire you. And, you know, we didn't know this about you. There's something very fishy about you. Why don't you tell the audience what it is?
You know, people look at me or they look like this in a suit jacket and they don't realize that I like a lot of outdoorsy things, and one of them is fishing. We had a chance to go surf fishing, actually. Is that me? Oh, yes, it is. I caught a fish, or a couple of fish. The funny thing is my husband Mark grew up in Minnesota, went fishing all the time. I'm the one that drags him fishing, you know, and this was the surf fishing story that we did. And it was great fun. Michael Koss was a producer. Nora was along for that. And I actually caught some fish.
How come you didn't bring it back so we could cook it up?
Well, I think those are called bottom feeders or something like that. Something you really don't want to eat. But I caught them nonetheless, and that's the important thing.
Well, you look cute in that outfit. But we also, I mean, I know, because you gave me a beautiful album filled with pictures of the show, which I appreciate so much. You love taking photographs, don't you?
Yes. Actually, I started when I was about 12 years old. My dad had a darkroom, and so I loved taking pictures. And I thought maybe I'd be a photojournalist. And I really enjoy children and taking pictures of children because of the innocence and the sweetness that's
We've got some great pictures that you've taken here we'd like to show our audience, okay?
This happened. Well, that's actually our wedding picture, and my daughter, who's 4½, saw that picture about a month ago in our guest room as I was making up the bed, and she burst into tears. And I said, oh, what's wrong, thinking she'd been impaled on the side of the bed. And she said, it's so beautiful. The picture's so beautiful. So I took down our wedding dress, my wedding dress, not Mark's wedding dress, and I put her in the wedding dress.
Oh, how pretty. Oh, that's a great
we
picture.
just had a beautiful day.
Oh.
And White Bear makes it into every photo of our family. And I love it when the pictures kind of screw up. She fell over right there. And that's when you know the photo session's over.
Oh, yeah, you know what? And now I know exactly where she gets them, because that's Asher right there sticking her tongue out. But listen, let me go and get Sasha, and right above Sasha is Mark. Can you just also, Peter, go up and get a shot of Mark? That's Ash's gorgeous husband.
And I want to say thanks to my family. Mark and Sasha have sacrificed so much this year.
No cry. Come on. Sasha's got flowers for you.
Thank you.
Sasha. Asha.
Malcolm, I want to say thank you, especially to my family and to Mark. He's been so supportive, and I won't cry anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Let me just say this one last time, and this is also in honor of Florence. Asha, Asha, Asha. From the Brady Bunch, folks. It doesn't matter if they get it or not. It's been a pleasure, Asha, and we got more coming up.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Sasha.
Love you both.
And we will indeed have much more on this final edition of Later Today coming up right after this. Stay tuned.
Hey, Jody, it's almost time for you to tell us your story. Any big surprises?
Well, I kind of glossed over my prison record in the whole, like, career retrospective that you're going to see.
Like those other survivors, you lied.
There will be a few surprises. We'll be right back. Thank you, Asha. Very nice.
Up next, we find out how Jody bucked the trends and rode to the top when Later Today continues.
Comes first family. Watch today, and you will see the folks you count on every day to bring the latest news your way. Katie, Matt, Aladan, first on your TV. America's first family, today on NBC.
Come on.
We're back on this final edition of Later Today, and so far this morning, we've taken a look back at my career as well as Asha's, and now it's Jody's turn. Now, most NBC viewers may think they know her, but Jody's whole story has never been told, until now.
Good evening.
This is how most of America has seen Jody Applegate, as the unflappable anchor, the dedicated journalist, refined, sophisticated, and above all, dignified.
Take my winch, please.
Yes, whether tackling that tough story out in the field or going after that big scoop, Jody has never been one to toot her own horn. But even back when Jody worked in local television, she always managed to display impeccable judgment
I'm not sure. Hold on tight, Jody.
and a subtle urbane elegance. But what Jody's dozen or so fans may not realize is that her career actually began in the early 60s in a little-known girl group. They fancied themselves the next Supremes, but they were just a pale imitation. But an unexpected phone call from Hollywood brought a stroke of luck. Jody was cast as the lovable kid sister on One Day at a Time. Just before the taping of the first episode, however, the producers suddenly replaced her with Valerie Bertinelli.
What can I say? Judy was a nice kid, but Valerie, I mean, she was cuter, nicer, and a lot more talented.
Desperate and forced to accept smallish roles in television commercials, Jody's subtle acting style went unappreciated.
Be confident. Shout Bergman.
Jody eked out a living on the fringes of show business until another odd twist of fate brought Jody the lead role in a major motion picture.
It turns out there was like a clerical mix-up. They thought they were hiring Jodie Foster, and apparently we have like really similar social security numbers. Anyway, on the first day of shooting, I mean, time is money, and they were kind of stuck with me.
He doesn't have any pockets. Poor little bear.
But Jody made the most of the opportunity, and her now legendary portrayal of the mom in A Pocket for Corduroy stunned critics and audiences alike. Hard as it is to believe, Jody was snubbed at the Oscars that year, losing the Best Actress award to Sally Field for Places in the Heart. Jody stormed out of Hollywood in protest. Hollywood didn't notice.
Here's Jody.
Well, Lloyd, traffic is moving well in both directions on the...
Jody decided to start over, working on a dream she had secretly harbored all along, to be a local television traffic reporter.
The morning commute is definitely well underway.
Even in this early footage, Jody's uncanny talent for pinpointing roadway hazards was clear to anyone who watched her. And her unique variety of looks caught the attention of news executives.
She eats the lens.
Soon, Jody was in the fast lane and parlayed her success into a full-time job, undercover. Jody was posing as an anchor and reporter for local television stations. But notice the hair. Jody was secretly working for the manufacturers of industrial-strength hairstyling products, field testing ever stronger products and techniques. In 1996, Jody's versatility caught the eye of NBC network brass. Jody had hit the big time.
Gentlemen prefer blonde.
Now, it's the year 2000. What will Jody, and far more importantly, what will Jody's hair do next?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jody Applegate. I'm sorry, why are you holding that torch?
Well, I'll always carry a torch for later today. But really, this is in honor of Survivor because, as you know, I've been a huge fan.
You are, I know. So I just want to ask her, what is next for your hair? And don't burn it off.
I know, exactly. I'm really out of luck if I have no hair at all. Well, my hair hasn't decided what its next career move is going to be, but wherever my hair goes, I will go with it.
Now, I was going to ask you, Jody, what do you plan next?
Seriously.
Well, I was hoping the audience might help me out on this one, okay? Should I, A, go back to being a local TV traffic reporter?
No. No.
Should I, B, audition to replace Kathy Lee?
Yes. 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 You'd be great at
And C? C was other. Don't clap for other. Other could be good, though.
Other could be.
It's a positive thing.
You can have a baby. Take a year off and have a baby.
I may work on that, too. Yeah. But for now, I'm afraid that the moment has come.
Really?
Yes, because, well, it's time for our executive producer, Michael Bass, to begin the ceremony.
Oh, no.
Raise your hand, Jody.
They don't clap on Survivor. No, but this is funny.
Jody, the tribe has spoken. You must leave the studio immediately.
Take your backpack. Take your backpack. Don't forget.
They always take their backpack.
Wait! I just want to say,
You guys play fair and be nice to each other.
okay.
Michael, you could be the next Survivor host.
I'm ready for the outback.
We'll be right back with more of this
Have a seat, Michael.
edition of Later Today in just a moment. Michael Bass, you were fabulous. You're going to be an actor, I can tell.
The next Survivor host. Welcome back. As we wrap up this final episode, we bring you one more look at the best of Later Today. One thing we've probably talked about more than anything else on this show is hair. So, as we did just a moment ago, so we thought we'd have one last look back at a few of our favorite styles.
I feel like Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction.
I just loved LA Confidential.
Katie Couric, don't you copy this hairdo.
I look like a washed-up British rocker, don't I?
What do you think? New look?
Now, Mike.
It's like Jody, only blonder.
Now, you girls, behave. I don't know what I was thinking when I created this hairdo, but at the time it seemed the right thing to do.
All right, ladies, I know you claim to hate my puns, but would you indulge me one last time?
I would.
In fact, maybe we can say all together. That's right. We need at least one more, Florence.
Hair today,
gone tomorrow. We'll be right back.
Yeah, Later Today
on NBC. Later today, and we've done a lot of kidding this morning, but it's time for the real goodbyes. You want to start us off, Florence?
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'll try. First, I want to thank the people that, at the very beginning, Jeff Zucker, Lena Nachmanoff, and Michael Bass for offering me this job in the first place. To get to work with Asher Blake and Jody Applegate was a privilege for me. I want to thank my husband, John, my 4 children, Barbara, Joe, Robert, and Lizzie. I want to thank, oh gosh, all my brothers and sisters, too numerous to mention. And for our outstanding staff, especially Dale Richards and Allison Gullis, our crew, they know how much I love them. And the audience, you know, the audience has always been my partner. And let's continue this partnership. I appreciate you all more than I can ever say. You make it happen for us. Without you, we're nothing. So, thank you.
Okay, you know, I said some of this at the top of the show. I said a little bit at the top of the show, but I do want to say it again in the sense that I want to first say that I was honored to have this opportunity. Thank you to Michael Bass and Jeff Zucker, who saw something in me and said, come over here and do it. And it's been wonderful to work with you, Jody, and work with you, Florence, and get to know both of them. Fabulous staff here. Producers, you're wonderful. Crew on the floor, you're wonderful. Yeah. Thank you to my wonderful husband, Mark, and Sasha. And I'm not going to cry again about that. And thanks to my family, and also Lori and Lauren, and everybody else on the staff knows that I love them. And thank you to the audience that watched and wrote. Thank you so much, and I know we'll see you again somewhere. I can't say thank you enough to the audience for that. Jody? All right, Florence. Well, I want to say, first of all, thanks very much to NBC for giving us the chance to do this in the first place. Right. And thanks to the folks who watched, and there really were millions. I mean, this show had pretty good ratings, and they probably would have only gotten better, but That's kind of how things go in the world of show business. You pay your money and you take your chances, but it's been a wonderful experience, and I want to thank everyone for taking a chance on us and doing a little bit to stake out this new territory between news and entertainment, which is kind of an uncharted land, and I think we made some good first steps in that direction. And I want to thank the staff and crew who've done a very professional job over the past 3 months, knowing that the show is going to be ending, and they've come to work every day and given it their all, and that's a lot to ask of people, and they've done a terrific job of it, and I want to thank them very much, and I want to thank the live audience, and I want to thank you ladies very much. And guess what? Love you. No tears yet, because we are really being kicked off the kitchen island, because we're going over here. And I'll go in front just for the heck of it, because we want you to see the staff that have put so much work into this show all along. You don't get to see them, but they're the ones here when we get in, and they're still here when we leave.
And this is Lauren Perry.
Oh, sorry. And this is Lauren Perry. Lori Sampson. Laura Sampson. And Laura Sampson staff and all the crew here. Oh, God. Thank you guys so much. You did a terrific show. Oh, my goodness, it's like a Broadway show.
This is Rena. Tom Papa.
Oh, thank you, Tina. You're supposed to be in Pittsburgh. Anyway, here's a look at our staff, and we will see ya later. Roll tape.
Later today we'll lead the way to get your daytime going. Jody, Ashton, and Florence bring a new attitude. It's smart, fun, stylish, exciting, and new.
Sing it, Diane.
Get a fresh start, straight from the heart. Straight from the heart. Later today. Later today we'll find a way to get the daytime rolling. News and information. Fun and entertainment. Exciting and new, just for you. Later today. Exciting and new, just for you. Later today.
Roll red and effective. Stand by camera 4. Stand by applause. Two here. Stand by 1. Take 1.
Later today.